This is Joe Smith from the Midwest Football Podcast. Please remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It all helps us grow our show. Look for our full show, too, anywhere you find podcasts. Links below. There are effectively only three paths for what happens with a quarterback. The holy grail is to get a big-time quarterback on a rookie deal. That happens a couple times in each generation. Joe Burrow right now, but his time is running up. Justin Fields right now, but the rest of the team isn't ready, and they're going to probably miss that window before they have to decide if they're going to pay Justin Fields or what's going on.
We got 3 more years of his rookie contract, and we got, our window championship's probably next year, maybe not this year, but go on. Still got a chance.
Granted. The other side of that is your Patrick Mahomes. You pay these guys whatever, because if you don't, the negotiation is with a Patrick Mahomes. They're going to put a number on the table, and you're either going to pay them every penny or you're going to kiss them goodbye because somebody else will. That's the negotiation. But if they're that good, you pay it because that's all you need. You go back to your Peyton Mannings, your Tom Brady's, today your Patrick Mahomes. Basically, if you get them just enough offensive line to keep them upright and one receiver that can consistently beat single coverage, you're going to be a top 10 offense. That's all you need. Everybody else can be replacement level.
And you can even say, like, Drew Brees he might have been really paid. He always maxed out. He didn't take that Brady discount, but they had that one draft class with Kamara and Marshawn Lattimore where they had this second run at the end of Drew Brees' career where they didn't win a Super Bowl, but if you go back year by year, they had weird, tragic losses in the playoffs, and any Saints fan could rattle them off. I can't, but I mean, that they probably could have won one of those. They could have stolen one of those, because if you have a quarterback who's that elite, now you just need to hit on a couple rookies, because if you can't hit on one quarterback on a rookie contract, you got to hit on multiple players in a rookie contract. And, you could see it. I mean, even like with Mahomes, the power of him, they traded Tyreek Hill, and you wouldn't want to start any of those receivers in fantasy last year, and their offense was better.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you end up with this sort of sliding scale, though, because you can hit it somewhere in the middle. There's I think of it like threading the needle. It's a value vet. If you can get top 10 quarterback production from a guy who's making, say, for the sake of example, cap hit of 25 million or less, you're going to have some success because you're going to have enough support around him. That's really the key. If the best way that I've seen to evaluate quarterbacks doesn't have anything to do with their statistics. It has to do with how much support they need, both around them on the offense, as well as on the defensive side, so they're not thrown from behind, how much support they need to be a plus quarterback.
Yeah, and that brings me like the mid-tier. And this is a good year for that, because you have some people scrambling for the rookie contracts, others scrambling to pay, trade for and pay Deshaun Watson. But then you got the middle of the pack guys. Someone might ask me, who would you rather have? Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Jared Goff. And my answer is just who's paid the least of those guys. Because if you got Goff on 25 million versus, Carr and Daniel Jones on 40, you can pay 2 extra, Pro Bowl players to round out your roster and make their job a lot easier. And I just don't think that the difference between those guys is enough to justify paying. You're not going to get to the Super Bowl. You can. We've seen it with Goff, another rookie contract guy. And that's why I think that the Lions this year are in good shape, because guys like Geno Smith and Goff are still on reasonable mid-market contracts compared to the Matt Staffords and Dak Prescotts and Daniel Jones.
That Daniel Jones contract is going to send shockwaves through the NFL, because there's probably 25 starting quarterbacks that are going to turn around, point to that deal and go, I'm better than Daniel Jones. So if he's 40 million, then I'm 45 at least.
And Daniel Jones is another one of those fascinating guys that he vaulted to the top of his draft class, and he was one of those borderline first round picks. He ended up going top 6. He didn't even really pan out as a rookie, and he still got paid $40 million a year. And it just kind of goes to show how desperate teams are for quarterback plays, even if it's just competent. And the Daniel Jones truthers will point out, like Fields, he didn't have a receiving core, but you're paying him $35 million more than Fields. So now you're not getting a DJ Moore. You're not getting a left tackle to help keep him upright and give him weapons. So where do you get the weapons if you're, a Giants team that's trying to win with Daniel Jones, who's a, subpar quarterback play, but over average pay scale, not to say he's overrated.
Yeah, as a Lions fan, this is what absolutely terrifies me. We've got Jared Goff locked up for this year and next year, but if Jared Goff balls out again, he's going to want to get paid ahead of Daniel Jones for sure. He's going to want that $45 million plus deal. So what is a championship window? A championship window is one of these 3 quarterbacks plus enough dudes that they can get that guy to play at a Super Bowl level. It looks like the Lions are entering a championship window this year, and it might end the instant they have to pay Goff.
Which is crazy because it feels like the Giants or the Lions they've been on a great trajectory the last couple of years, going from 2nd overall pick to 9-8. And I think they've had a lot of things going for them. But I agree with you 100%. And I think we can talk about this next week when we go through what we want to see in a draft, because there's a big question in Detroit is, do you grab a rookie contract quarterback to take over for Goff with your 2 first-round picks or not? We don't have time for that this week, but I think we can dive into that in immense detail next week. Goff is he's a really good litmus test for what we're talking about. And I think your championship window for Detroit's there. You have a really cheap wide receiver core, and your defense is coming around. You've got a great line, great running backs.